What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Got some Gravekeeper duels for you guys to check out in this video. You can see clearly from the opening hand that this is a different type of GK build. In fact, you're probably wondering, like, what the hell is Dynatherum doing in Gravekeepers? This build's a little more offensively focused. He plays Brilliant Fusion and some other cards that can give you instant offense, like Eater of Millions. I still think Eater of Millions is super fantastic. And with Gravekeepers, it's not like you really care about your extra deck all that much, to be honest. Just a couple of cards. He is going to make the Esper, the fusion monster that came out in Soul Fusion. He's going to make that a couple of times in these duels. And, you know, Gravekeepers still do have some very powerful cards, not just Royal Tribute and Necro Valley. You know, Royal Tombs can be a good card, or excuse me, Imperial Tombs. The problem is, it is an Infernity Barrier, and I know I've been talking about Infernity Barriers a lot lately, but it's kind of one that makes you jump through a little too many hoops. If you look at like the Salaman-Grade or Orcus Infernity Barriers, they just require you to have like one card on the field to activate them. This one requires, you know, like a Necro Valley and a Gravekeeper monster, and you know, they have some powerful cards, but a lot of them require two cards, which is kind of like the downfall of the powerful Gravekeeper support. But you can see he has Brilliant Fusion. Gonna get him a Trick Clown on board, and all right, he's starting out pretty good. Goes for the Potted Desires to draw two, then activates the Gravekeeper Rhoda just so he can get his Necro Valley on field. Not sure how good that is against crawlers, but he's actually going to go for a pretty nice Summon Sorceress play. No Fear going into two back row, and this gives him the ability to get Recruiter from his deck. Esper can, well, he now fusion summons into Esper. He's going for the Eater of Millions. He is going ham into that double back row. I would have probably been maybe not this fearless, but I think when he realized he's playing against crawlers, he's like, Cap, I got nothing to worry about. His opponent is going to flip over that Scapegoat. And I thought maybe he could go for a Borlo Dragon play here. That probably is what I would go for. He does summon the Crawler Link monster and then go for Borlo Dragon, which I felt like was just kind of a waste of resources. Problem is, Monster Reborn, I don't know why he tried to activate that when Necro Valley is on the field. So obviously that was a little bit of a cap of play. And I rolled my eyes at that and I was like, all right, this dude was an idiot. I don't know what you're doing there. Sorry if you were the if you were the Crawler player there, but you can't use Monster Reborn when Necro Valley is on the field. Second duel is against Utopia. Not just any version of Utopia. I believe that this is like a Gaga Zubaba Do version of Utopia. The onomatopoeias, shout outs to what's his name, Yuma from Zexal, and it's not bad. He makes a turn one Utopic Zexal, and I was like, all right, I think he's ready to roll, man. Turn one Utopic Zexal. Problem is, it's only 2,000 attack, and he goes for Anti-Luminescent Knight, just runs it over, and I was like, damn, that was anticlimactic as hell. I really thought the Utopic Zexal was going to be on the field for a few turns a la Rango, but nope. It dies instantly. Then he starts using his other offensive cards like Eater of Millions to take that out. He is going to go for Wee Witch's Apprentice. I think he just wanted to fusion summon, or no, he just apparently wanted to go for the Summon Sorceress. Goes for Nightmare Phoenix so he can get his Recruiter in the graveyard, and then plays Necro Valley. Not sure if that's super important against the Utopia slash Gaga Do, you know, deck, but he is actually going to rank up for a second time. Goes for Utopia Beyond. Not bad, as he's able to get rid of Summon Sorcerers and a lot of damage because you reduce your opponent's monsters to 0, but I'm pretty sure the fusion is going to come out fairly soon at this point, and I think his opponent just scooped because once again you have somebody trying to use the graveyard when Necro Valley is on the field, and that just doesn't work. Necro Valley is so annoying, and if I'm not mistaken, not that long ago Konami actually buffed Necro Valley, which was really random, and they made the card like super effing strong. I wish the Gravekeeper, some of the old cards were like more adjusted to power creep, that way Gravekeepers could maybe be meta, because they're actually really good against some of the meta decks, mainly just Necro Valley. Anyways, third duel, he's going to activate that Brilliant Fusion, gets Trick Clown on field. That pretty much instantly gets him into Summon Sorceress. Now he is going to fuse for Gravekeeper's Esper, and he is actually going to set the Imperial Tombs, the Necro, or the Infernity Barrier for the deck, and he's probably going to wait, now that he knows that he's probably dealing with a Chaos Max build. He does wait for Chaos Form just to keep that off the field. His opponent tries to use the Alternative Dragon on Esper, not reading the card. Problem is, Esper can't be destroyed by card effects. I believe while Necro Valley is on the field, it gains that effect, but his opponent is going to attempt to get rid of the Necro Valley with the Dragon Spirit of White. This was actually a smart play. He's not going to destroy it. He is going to banish it. It can be banished. Then he taps out for a Blue Eyes. Problem is, you cannot allow Summon Sorcerers to just stay on the field. Your opponent opponent is playing Gravekeepers, obviously they're going to have a bunch more spellcasters in the deck, and then he's able to go for Borlow Dragon. Not just that, he's actually going to play the the Vanity's Emptiness for Gravekeepers. He plays the Hidden Temples. This is the one where if you control a Necro Valley and a Gravekeeper monster, neither player can special summon, and obviously Blue Eyes are not going to be able to do anything about that. These are the two cards. If Konami, I mean, they're not going to do this, right? Well, Hidden Tombs is in the graveyard, I believe, but these are the two cards, Hidden Tombs Imperial Tombs and Hidden Temples. If these cards were remade and adjusted the power creep to where you just had to control a Gravekeeper monster, they would be so much better without having the need to have the Necro Valley on field too. But anyways, let's pause and look at the deck list. Okay, so this is what the deck looks like on paper. You guys saw pretty much every single one of the monsters. Some of the new cards from Soul Fusion are used. You know what? I just realized there are no flip monsters in this GK build. I mean, this is not very flip reliant at all. I mean, maybe this is the new way to run Gravekeepers, is not actually have to rely on Gravekeeper's Guard and Gravekeeper's Spy, those cards that take multiple turns basically to get their effects. You can just run Spiritualist and Fusion, and this one, the Gravekeeper's Headman, this is the one that's like the Wolf Bark, where you summon it and you get a Gravekeeper from your graveyard. And then these are just like Eater of Millions. This is just a good card in a vacuum. Doesn't require pretty much any other cards on the field to be. It's like a self-sufficient card. It's the reason why you saw Trickstars using it back in the day. He is running a lot of multiples when it comes to the spells. 3 copies of Desires. Not sure if I like that one, but I mean, because it's really just hard to wrap my head around a Gravekeeper deck that's like early game focus, when, you know, Gravekeepers have always kind of been a grinded out deck. But I guess that's not really what this deck is going for. But 3 Necro Valley, and then you have Necro Valley, or the Necro Valley Throne, which is kind of like the Rhoda for the archetype. Interestingly, Necro Valley Temple, this is the one that makes it so you can activate your Necro Valley if you don't have it on the field. For instance, if it's been destroyed by some type of card effect, you can actually get it back from the graveyard with this card. Also kind of debuffs your opponent's monsters. They lose 500 attack and defense. 3 copies of the Infernity Barrier for the archetype, and then he also has the Solemn Strikes just to kind of max out on that effect negation. I mean, the deck has to have some defense, and basically these are the defensive cards. Also, the Hidden Temples, making it so neither player can special summon. I mean, if you get Esper on field, you shouldn't really need the special summon anymore. Esper gets protection from destruction. She gives protection for your Necro Valley, so seems like it can be pretty decent. But I don't know about the 3 Pot of Desires. That's the only thing where I look at this and I'm like, nah, I don't know, man. What if you activate Pot of Desires and you draw into a Brilliant Fusion, but you banish your Garnet, or you end up banishing like your Trick Clown? Seems like that might not work out so well.